Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mystery Sports Podcast. It's been a while. I mean, almost a week of me not uploading a video. I mean, a lot of you will know, obviously, it has been my 18th birthday party, so couldn't really do anything on the weekend. Wasn't feeling up to it on Sunday. But, we're back and just a bit of positive news for all the people who have subscribed. And I'm just very grateful for reaching that 100 subscriber mark. I know, obviously, it's not the a million, right? But that's the base now. We've got to 100. Now, can we get to that 1,000 mark, or can we even get to that 500 first, then the 1,000 mark? And, I'm really grateful for all you watching, liking the videos, and you subscribing. Like, it's much appreciated. Like, I mean, it's building my obviously career up, and I'm really thankful for all you guys making this platform, because without you guys, this wouldn't be a platform that it is. And honestly, I wouldn't be getting the views that I am. I know they're obviously a little at the moment, but it's steadily increasing. 100 subscribers, brilliant news. And do you know what? I'm really, really happy with it. And we need to go further now. And as Lewis Hamilton says, still we rise. So let's get into it. Just a bit of positive news there. Premier League predictions. Obviously, the Premier League is back after the international break. Thankfully, we've got real football back now. I mean, Thomas Tuchel having a bit of an argument with all the England fans about the noise they've created. Come on, mate, it's a friendly against Wales. It's not some massive game, is it? No, it's a friendly. It's not like it's the World Cup final. I don't expect it to be limbs against Wales. But anyway, enough about international football, enough about that rubbish. Well, let's get on to the real stuff. The Premier League is back, and what a week we've got in terms of some of the fixtures. So, I mean, Saturday, let's go 12:30 kickoff is Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea. I think this is going to be a very, very bad game for Ange Postecoglou. I think 3-0 Chelsea. They'll get back to winning ways, and well, not back to winning ways. They'll get back that form that they have, and Maresca will be not under pressure as much. So yeah, 3-0 to Chelsea, and I think Forest could. I think there's a high chance that if they lose badly and heavily, Mr. Marinakis will be knocking on Postecoglou's door and saying, "Look, mate, move your stuff. We've got Rafa Benitez coming in," which I don't know if a lot of people have seen today, but reports are coming out of that Rafa Benitez might be considered as a option if they were to sack Ange Postecoglou. And I know it's a bold strategy, and we can see what happens there. And if Rafa Benitez does come in, obviously it'll be good to see him back in the Premier League. Once a great manager, you never know what he'll do at Nottingham Forest, but we can always see what happens. Then we go to 3 o'clock kickoff game. So Brighton versus Newcastle. I think this is one of those games where it's like it can favour the home side, and I think that it probably just favours Brighton Hove Albion because they're at home. I think they'll get like a 2-1 win. Then you've got the two new promoted sides, Burnley versus Leeds. I think this game Leeds probably will win, but I think it'll be a very, very tough game if they do go and win this, and I could see it being like a 3-2. And it's quite bold of me saying that it's gonna be high scoring, but judging by the way that the 2 teams played in the Championship last year, I do believe and I do think that it could be a very entertaining game. Then you have Crystal Palace versus Bournemouth. I mean, Crystal Palace, unbelievable form. Bournemouth, amazing. Anton Semenyo is just world class at this moment in time. I think that could easily be a draw, and I think it could be a 2-2. And I think Semenyo will be a very, very influential for Bournemouth. Manchester City versus Everton. I can only see one winner, and that is Man City. And I think 3-1 to Man City. Haaland with another dominant performance, I reckon. I think Jack Grealish can't play because he's against his former club. But I think Everton score. They've got a very good uh, first 11, I think, in Ndiaye as well. Very good player. Then you've got Sunderland versus Wolves. I think Sunderland, with the way that they're playing, I can see them winning 2-0. Um, Wolves look like they've kind of got back onto that horse and trying to like kickstarted the season somewhat. And I think they could definitely get there, or they could definitely do much better than what they've been doing. But Sunderland, the way that they've been playing is just fantastic at the moment. Then the 5:30 kickoff is Fulham versus Arsenal, so a bit of a derby there. And I think normally Fulham do well against Arsenal, but considering their form this year, they've not really past couple of weeks, they've not been doing too well. So I can see Arsenal going to the Cottage and getting a result there. And honestly, I think it could be a 3-1 to Arsenal. Obviously, without no Odegaard for 7 weeks, obviously they've got to cope without it. But I think they've got more than enough quality there with Declan Rice, Zubimendi, um, even with Ethan Nwaneri can drop into the midfield. Obviously, I'm not the best on Arsenal. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I know one of my mates. He's very keen on Ethan Nwaneri and playing that kind of number 10 position or an attacking kind of midfield position because he's got that quality there. But Arsenal, they do have that squad depth, and they probably will cope without him. I could see them slipping up at one game, but I think they'll get the job done. Now on to Sunday. So obviously we've got two huge games here: Tottenham versus Villa. Villa look like they've kicked it on, and Tottenham have looked really good under Thomas Frank. So I could see this being a draw, but then I could also see Tottenham being the home side, getting a bit more out of the game. So it could end up with a Tottenham win, but most likely I see it to be a 1-1. Then we go into the huge, huge game, and it's Liverpool versus Man United. We'll go on to it a bit more detail after I finish the Monday night kickoff game, but I'm going to say 4-1 Liverpool for there. And then the Monday night kickoff is West Ham versus Brentford. So obviously Nuno there, new manager's had an international break. Can he do well? I think West Ham will probably get a result. I think it'll be a 2-1 win to West Ham. Y- Um, I think there's nothing much you can really say with that game. I don't think it's got that kind of excitement. I think just a 2-1 game, really. Then we've got, obviously, let's get on to the main game that everyone wants to talk about, and that's obviously United versus Liverpool versus United. So, like I said before, I think it's going to be a 4-1 to Liverpool. Um, I just can't see anything happening for United. Nothing gives me the slightest kind of hope that United might get something out of the game. I know obviously last year they did. The only thing people might argue with me, and what I can also see in my argument, and what I do kind of believe very, very slightly, is that it's a derby. Can they turn up? Will Bruno turn up? Will Mbeumo turn up? Will Casemiro, De Ligt, Yoro, Shaw, Dorgu, will they all turn up? Well, there can't be no diving in like Shaw did against City. They've got to be on point. They've got to play for the badge and play for themselves. They cannot get battered 7-0. That cannot happen. If that happens, write the season off, because all we will get is just say, "Oh, you lost 7-0 again. You've done this. You got battered off Liverpool," and Ruben will be under so much Pressure. What they've got to do, they've got to turn up like they did last year. Play them off the park. We deserved to win that last year. I think everyone can see if it went for Maguire. They've got to turn up though. That's the only thing. The only way United can get something out of this, if they turn up. If they do not turn up, say there you go. You might as well give Liverpool 7 goals, because that's what's going to happen at the end of the day. Right. Another thing, I think with Liverpool and United, well, with United, the way that United could get a goal. So where I think we'll score a goal is through one chance. We'll have multiple chances. I can see that happening, but we'll get a chance on the break, and Shesko will score. That's what I think. Shesko will get the consolation goal. But United have got to be clinical this game. This is no Burnley where you'll get 20, 24 chances, whatever it was. This is Liverpool we're talking about. We're gonna get chances because how poor they've been at the back. And with these chances, the 8 chances we probably might get, we've got to score two to have a chance. And obviously, on the flip side, defensively, we've got to be sound. We cannot be playing Maguire, and we'll go on to starting 11 in a second. So yeah, we'll get onto the lineup here. So I've got it on the whiteboard here. So if you guys can see that there, yeah, you can. So the black is what I think Ruben Amorim will go for. So Le Mans in net, Shaw, Delit, Yoro, Dorgu, Ahmad, Casemiro, Bruno, Cunha, Mbeumo, Shesko. That's what I think he's most likely going to do. He's going to do that, something like that. The the blue is what I think he his is another possibility that Ruben Amorim might do. So he'll play Bruno as the 10. He won't play Cunha. He'll keep him on the bench and play Ugarte as the centre mid next to Casemiro. So that's another possibility that could happen. The red is what I would do. So I'd pretty much keep everything the same. I wouldn't play Cunha, and we'll get onto it in a second. And I'd play Mainu against um, instead of Bruno as the centre mid or Ugarte as the centre mid next to Casemiro. So you've seen that now. Now I'll back it up. So let's say we go with my option with Mainu and as the centre mid next to Casemiro. Why we play Mainu? Mainu looks amazing on the ball. I think against City, he came on for half an hour. He was the best player on the pitch for United wise. And last season, if you watch that game, any football fan could tell that Kobe Mainoo bossed that midfield. Kobe Mainoo was everywhere in the midfield, and he was getting on the Liverpool fans' nerves because when he slipped over in the snow, they all went mad at him and gave him a lot of abuse. Well, not abuse, rubbish. And I think that's the player we need. We need someone who will fight for us, who will get stuck in and he will get the ball and he'll play it forward quick because Liverpool on the counter attack are vulnerable, and I just don't see Ugarte doing that for us. And Bruno, I know he can do it, but I think his best position is a number 10, as everyone says, and I'll always keep saying that Bruno is a number 10. He's not a centre mid. So mainly, I think walks into that side next to Casemiro. I think Casemiro, you got the experience there. Bruno instead of Cunha, I think there's got to be no Cunha in the starting 11 just because he's come back from injury. I know obviously you got the assist against in with Brazil, but I think with the situation that we're in, I think Bruno just fits it better. I think Bruno in that number 10 position on the left hand side just is much better than an injured Cunha. I think if you got Cunha fit, then I think you drop Bruno at the moment because his form's been diabolical. Missed 2 penalties this year, and I mean, I know he's joint top goal scorer or whatever, but it's diabolical really for Bruno Fernandes. So I the only reason why I'm gonna go Bruno instead of Cunha is because he's just come back from injury, and I think as well, if we're gonna get chances in this game, the person who's most likely gonna create our chances is obviously Bruno Fernandes, as we know, is the most creative player in the Premier League since he came to United in January 2020 and this season as well. So that's what I would personally do. What I think Ruben will do is probably go with the Bruno and then Casemiro centre mids and Cunha is your number 10. That's what I think he'll do. But there's, I think with this game, there's so much on it. I think Ruben Amorim could surprise us with his formation selection, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Ugarte in that midfield and Bruno as your 10. I know Cunha. I think Shesko at number 9, obviously he's 2 in 2. You can't argue with that. And Buemo, we know how good he is, so he's there. And Ahmad, I think with below the way he performs this year and the way he plays is just rubbish, and he doesn't deserve to play for the club anymore. So Ahmad has to be the right wing back, and I think if you're looking to punish Liverpool, I think Ahmad is the perfect person there. And then Dorgu left wing back. I mean, he's the only left wing back we've got at the club. Oh, well, we've got Diego Leon, but he decides not to play any kind of youth players. Then Shaw, De Ligt, Yoro as your back three. I think that's what you got to do. No Lisandro Martinez. I was really hoping he would be back in the squad or the team. And we'll wait and find out to see what happens tomorrow if he is in the squad while the latest on his injury. I think you go Shaw, De Ligt, Yoro just because you can't play Maguire against Liverpool, or you can't play Maguire from the start because I think we'll just get exploited straight away and how fast Liverpool move the ball. I think De Ligt and Shaw are kind of more suited, and obviously we know how good Yoro is. And then Lamon's in net. I mean, this is a standout performance against Sunderland, wasn't it? Really, clean sheet, first clean sheet of the season. Brilliant performance, very dominant in the air. Good couple of saves he made. Now this is his test. Really, this is his this is his game to say, look, I'm here for good, and this is what I am. And if he has a great game, no mistakes, no funny business. I think that number one spot is his. I think he's already got it, to be fair, from the Sunderland game. But you go to Liverpool away at Anfield. This is the type of game where you're like, look, you need to basically turn up and show who he is and why he deserves this number one spot and in at Manchester United. And I think he's better than Altai and he's better than Onana. Obviously, Onana's on loan. Altai, I never want to see him put a United shirt on again. To be fair, and not even in the FA Cup. I'd play Tom Eaton in the FA Cup if he wants to rest the bonds. But this game, I can only see a 4-1 win for Liverpool. I can't see United winning. The only sort of kind of hope I have for United is that the players turn up and we don't get battered 4-1. I think if we turn up, we might lose 2-1 or 2-0. That's realistically what I think. And in my heart, I hope that United can get a win, but I don't see it happening. I just think Liverpool turn up and they just play us off the park, and we have nothing for him, and we just get battered. Ahead, as soon as we go 2-0 down, the heads go, and I think it goes to 4-3, then 4, then 5. Even worse, probably could be 7 if we play how poorly we have been playing against like the Brentfords and of the worlds. So obviously, it'll be an entertaining watch from a neutral's perspective, or if you're not a United fan, that's what. I just, it's one of those games where you just like they gotta turn up because if they don't turn up, everyone knows what's gonna happen, and you just don't want that to happen because everyone knows what I'm thinking because it's that fear factor, isn't it? Really, like I know obviously I was never born in this kind of in the period where United were the dominant force or well, I mean I was born, but I don't remember it because I'm not I mean I was only like when saw us win what Champions League and the Premier League, I was only young. So it's like this is what it must feel like for when people say United or going to Old Trafford was like you feared going to United. Like you knew they were gonna turn up and you knew that they were gonna get 3 points. This is the kind of feeling that I'm feeling as a United fan going to Anfield. That my God, we're going to Anfield. They're probably gonna get 3 points. Or we go to the Etihad, where they're gonna get 3 points. We go to the Emirates, they're gonna get 3 points. We go to St James's Park and extent, and they're gonna get 3 points against United. It's that fear factor that I feel like I'm just realizing now that we United have lost a lot of that kind of status as the number one or not the number one club, but the feared club in the UK because we're just not good enough anymore. And this is this is why I'm predicting a 4-1. This is why a couple of my mates, Alex and Ethan, they're predicting us, or they're like, I don't want to predict it because I think it's going to be bad. Or even other people saying, no, even Liverpool fans thinking they're going to win 8-0. You know, it's just embarrassing, really. And we got to hope we turn up. Right. Let's cut away from Liverpool and United. Let's get on to the Formula One. After a brilliant week from George Russell in Singapore last time out, obviously getting pole and winning the race. Max Verstappen coming second, Lando Norris third, and Oscar Piastri fourth, and Kimi Antonelli fifth. Brilliant race for him. Obviously, a couple of days ago, and I posted on Instagram, so the Instagram link will be in the description. So if you don't mind giving it a follow, that'd be much appreciated. I've also posted on the Instagram that George Russell and Kimi Antonelli have been given a contract extension and are the new drivers for Mercedes for the up and coming year. I think brilliant news for them. I think George Russell has nailed on that first seat point, and I think he's the future. I think Kimi Antonelli, the way that Toto Wolff and Mercedes have invested in him, I think and I think it's stupid if they didn't go and give him the 2026 seat because they've invested heavily into him. I think throughout the season he's performed well, and I just think the way that they have kind of nurtured him, and obviously Bono being his race engineer, I mean, Bono, he's won 6 world championships with Lewis Hamilton, so he knows what he's doing. I mean, 7th in the drivers' championship. He's doing the best out of all the rookies, and I think on 88 points, can he break 100? I think he can. Um, you know, it's a it, it's a it's a tough one with Kimi Antonelli because I feel like he's got more to prove for himself. But anything can happen really in Formula One. I mean, that's why I love the sport because you've got so much money invested in the sport. There's always something going on each week. McLaren might not be on top. Mercedes could be on top. Red Bull might start winning races. Y- Ferrari could be getting back to the top. Who knows? But it is the Austin Grand Prix. Formula One is back in America now, obviously after Miami, and the 4th of May. That was quite a while ago. We are back in America, Austin. Brilliant race, lovely track, especially under the lights, and in the sunset. Beautiful, beautiful track. Love it to bits. I think with with what's coming up, I think we have a very entertaining race. Ferrari look to do well in Austin from previous years. Red Bull, I mean, Max Verstappen does well. I mean, you never count him out. The Papayas, they're fighting for the championship alongside Max Verstappen, so they'll be up there. And the Mercedes, I think Russell back off a win, very dominant performance, likes the track. Who knows what could happen? And I think Mercedes will look to be a strong force in the race. And we know it's a bit of a sprint race as well. So how the format works within the sprint. So you've got practice one, which is tomorrow. So it will be on about 7:30 tomorrow. It's a bit of a late one in America. So then you have practice one, then you have sprint quali, and then you have the sprint race, and then you have the qualifying, and then you have um, obviously the race on the Sunday. So how it basically works, so you have one practice session, then the sprint qualifying. So that's on the Friday. On the Saturday, you've got the sprint and the qualifying for the Grand Prix. Then obviously on the Sunday, you've got the Grand Prix. So I think it's all to play for. If I'm gonna go, who's gonna win the race, the Grand Prix? I think Norris wins the Grand Prix, Piastri P2, Russell third, Verstappen fourth, Antonelli fifth. And I think the Ferraris will have a great quali, but they'll fall off in the race. That's the only thing I can see with them. Um, you know, with the Formula One at the moment, I think we just can't. For me, I'm waiting for Mercedes to get back to that kind of challenging and Ferrari to get challenging at the moment because I think because the Constructors' Championship's over now, I know it's exciting with the Drivers' Championship, but I just think we know it's probably gonna be a McLaren driver. I just don't see Verstappen winning any more races. Or he might win one, but I don't think he'll close the gap enough to be actually fully in contention. So I just want it to be over kind of because I know that it's gonna be a McLaren driver and they fully deserve it. No, let's not like dishearten their kind of championship. I just think that McLaren deserve it a lot and I want Lando to win it because he's British. I just don't like Piastri, but it's gonna be take a time, isn't it? Really, it's gonna take it a time to obviously come over. Right, off to the Formula One, the darts. So this is not much of a preview. This is more of a catch up of the darts. So obviously we know that Luke Littler won the World Grand Prix of darts in fantastic style against Luke Humphries, 6-1 in set domination. Luke Littler, you beauty. Honestly, Luke Littler is the number one darts player in the world, and he doesn't have the world number one ranking yet, but surely it's coming. This World Championships, I think he is going to get that style as the world number one. I mean, just I think Gezi Price, Gerwin Price is back. The way he played against Littler was outstanding, and I think you just see obviously from losing 2-0 down, 2-0 up is obviously disappointing for him. But when you're coming against Luke Littler, it's just like you've got to make sure you get over that line. There's no like sloppiness. Um, Nathan Aspinall, I mean, he got a two nine darters in one game. I think that's obviously a brilliant achievement for him. I just think that the Asp he'll be up there definitely for when it comes to world champs in 2 months' time. But I think it's kind he's fallen off a lot. Stephen Bunting as well. I think he's done well. Like he's fourth in the world rankings. I think he's got a little bit more. I just don't think he's up to the quality of Van Gerwen, Humphreys, and Littler. See, Van Gerwen in the Grand Prix didn't do as well as I expected him to do. But I mean, I think everyone's just waiting for the world champs in 2 weeks, 2 months. Sorry. Humphreys needs to get his act together, and I think he will. I think for the world champs, everyone gets their act together and he start playing well. Obviously, if he plays how he played against Littler in the round one, I think Humphreys could be out straight away in the world champs. But with Littler, the playing how he has, the form that he is on, I think Littler goes and wins the world champs and gets that number one ranking. But with darts, anything can happen. Like you could see an underdog again, like they did last year, and someone from Serbia, for example, might get to the quarterfinals and upset everyone, upset the big names like Van Gerwen, you Gerwin Price. I mean, Peter Wright. I mean, he's a big name, but I think this might be his final year in professional darts. I just think the way he's fallen off from winning the world champs in 2020, and then to just fall massively and to just be scraping the Premier League places at the start of the year. It's just like, is it time? Like, leave the darts before the darts leaves you. Do you know what I mean? I think that could be um, what should happen for not Gerwin Price, for Peter Wright. You know, it is a tough one. I do like Peter Wright. I think he's such an amazing guy. His hairstyle's amazing. I think a lot of people do know that, and he's just he's a crowd pleaser at the end of the day. And I think that's probably why he is in the Premier League and why he's in the champs, because he's a crowd pleaser. Just to move on as well, obviously United Women's are playing right now in the Champions League, Women's Champions League. They were 1-0 up. I don't know they if what's happened with them, but I know they are down to 10 men as well. Oh, both sides are down to 10 men. So at the moment it's 84 minutes currently. We do have United are 1-0 up through Roloff, her first goal in Manchester United colours. Ella Toom with the assist. Always good to see her on the score sheet or provide an assist. So United did get their centre back sent off. So Janssen did get sent off for quite a cynical challenge. And I think but the thing is though, from what I was listening to, it was quite a poor kind of decision from the ref, because from the replay it did look like it wasn't as cynical as people made it out to be. And she's kind of with a trailing leg, she's kind of just clipped the attacker, and obviously it was a denial of goal scoring opportunity, so it's a red card. But then Atletico Madrid in the 74th minute have also received a red card as well. So Alexia Fernandez has been given two yellow cards, and obviously she's been sent off. So I mean, it levels the playing field really for Man United, and hopefully they can hold on for the next 5 minutes or so. And plus, they've probably still got injury time as well to play. So if that does happen, and I'll get onto your comment in a second, if that does happen, United do go fourth in the Champions League table, 2 games, 2 wins. I mean, brilliant for them. Obviously, going through the qualifiers above Chelsea, who drew yesterday, can't go wrong. Just from Akshay Mystery, what do you think of Luke Humphreys? Um, I'm not, I'm not a fan of Luke Humphreys. I think a lot of people do know that, but he is a very, very talented darts player. And once he kicks it on, he's a machine. He gets 180s like it's nothing. I mean, him and Littler together, they're unstoppable. Obviously, in the World Cup, they didn't go well, but I think individual players, Humphreys and Littler, are just amazing. I mean, just going back to Humphries, obviously he's world number one, and you can't argue with the stats. Obviously, winning this year £1,756,000 is just crazy. Um, with Humphries, I think he can be annoying because he's a bit like Bruno in terms of darts. He always whinges, he's always complaining, he's always doing things like that. But he's a very, very talented darts player, and you can't like hide away from that kind of fact that he just does well when you need him to. Obviously, in the final, he didn't do well last weekend, but I mean that just speaks to the brilliance of Luke Littler. Just another comment as well. Do you think that Le Mans will start? I think he will. So if you go back to the start of the video, well, about 5 minutes in, I did was talking about the lineup and the predicted lineup. So I will get it out again for you. This is this is what I think will happen for the lineup there. I think we Wait, let me get this right. There we go. This is what I think will happen. So the black is what I think that Ruben Amorim will most likely go with. The blue is what I think Ruben Amorim could do as a second option, and what I wouldn't be surprised to see comes 3:30 on a Sunday. Ugarte and then as the number 10 and Bruno as no, not Ugarte. Ugarte as the centre mid, Bruno as the 10 instead of Cunha. And the red is what I would do. So I would go with Le Mans in net. I mean, it speaks for itself. And if you just go back in the video, I do say that his performance against Sunderland pretty much guaranteed him that number one shirt. But this is the real test for Le Mans. And if he performs how he should do, then or like he's dominant in the air, great shot stopping. I think he gets that number one shirt, and Altai never wears the United shirt again. I mean, I don't want him to wear it ever again. I would go Mainu in the midfield just because I think he offers something different to what Bruno does, and he is that player there, and he does suit the system in that position. And then no Cunha, and I'd play Bruno as the 10. I just think that with Bruno as the 10, it just offers a bit more creativity, and well, not a bit more creativity. I just think he's used to the system a bit more than Cunha, and Cunha coming back from injury just makes it um, a little bit. I just think Cunha from his previous performance didn't do as well as what I expected him to do. I know he got the assist against for Brazil for Vinicius, but I just think that Bruno playing as the 10, I'd be more confident with us creating more chances. And if you just go back and previously, like I've said, and just watched a little bit on the Liverpool United game, the reason why I've done it obviously will be explained there. And I just think Cunha not coming back from injury is I don't want him to get injured again. We know how important he is for United and how creative he is. And I think everyone knows why Mainu should start. I think he should be starting every game for United. He's our best centre mid, really. Casemiro's legs have gone. He doesn't really know what he's doing. Well, I mean, he does. Sorry, Casemiro's legs have gone, and Casemiro, even though he knows what he's doing, he's just too slow, and I could see him get himself sent off if he doesn't do what he should do. And yeah, so obviously from British Mystery there, totally agree with your lineup. I think it's what he has to do. There's no way that if he plays Maguire, we're just gonna get absolutely exposed, and Liverpool will go run riot, sorry, and it'll be like a 7-0 again. Because Maguire in a high line doesn't work. We did it against Brentford under Ten Hag, and we got battered 4-0. We did it against Brentford again, and we lost 3-1. So yeah, exactly, the game over there if that happens. So yeah, that's what I think what will happen. If you go back to previously in the video, you'll be able to see what I predict and things, and I go into a bit more depth about why I've played Cunha and why I think Shesko should be starting and Le Mans as well. I think he should be starting. He looks brilliant for me. But yeah, if you've got any more questions, leave it in the comment section below and I will respond back to him or even in the Sunday video, I will read them out and respond. But yeah, and if you can share the video for me, please. Like it and subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Catch you all in a bit.